And one of the reasons that these processes result in different flavors is that the seed lives. As a tropical seed, coffee does not have a dormant stage. It's capable of sprouting even when it's still on the tree a little bit. But there are enzymes in the mucilage in the fruit that prevent it from sprouting, that say it's not time to become a plant yet. With wet processing, with the pulp and fruit removed, then the seed gets ready to sprout, which includes amino acids generated from some of the protein in the embryo area of the fruit. You have different acids developing because of a certain cycle known as the citric acid cycle. Some of the lipids or oils break down into sugars because it thinks it's going to need to feed that plant that they think is coming. The plant will be capable of sprouting until it gets to about 20% moisture. After that, it doesn't sprout. Wash coffees, you can actually get them to sprout if you soak them in some water and get it to the proper temperature. With the natural or dry processing, because the fruit is not removed, the sprouting does not start. There are fewer amino acids, and acidity development is due a lot to the fruit fermentation. In the dry process, the fruit ferments and is absorbed into the seed. That's mainly the acids, it's not the sugar. Some people say, hey, natural coffees are sweeter because they're in contact with the fruit. That's simply not true. The causes of flavor differences is that no germination, the germination is inhibited by enzymes, and the differences in flavor due to the metabolic reaction from the seed are that some of the reserves are mobilized, sugars released from the cell walls, amino acid aroma, and these are aroma precursors when you roast the coffee. The content of amino acids and soluble carbohydrates are much higher in washed coffees than in the others. However, coffee ripeness is still a major quality driving factor. The immature fruit is harder and is less likely to give up moisture. You have other issues like antioxidation of chlorogenic acids, result in quining. Tonic water is, and these are more prevalent in less mature coffees. Unripe samples have low levels of free amino acids, aroma precursors, plus all of the astringency. Natural's temperature is important in determining flavor. 22 days at 28 degrees creates a red wine flavor with acetic acid. If it gets colder, it results in much smoother flavors. This is the phenomenon Gary mentioned where it seems like you don't even have any of that natural taste. Most of those were done at very high altitude where it's pretty chilly, and it probably took them a long time to dry the coffee. Higher temperature natural coffees create that cheesy, bentonioic, sweaty kind of quality determination. It's the ripe fruit, best sweetness. Most of them measure the brix, which is the sugar content, regularly, and African drying beds, which actually lift off, they keep the coffee off the ground, and there's more air flowing through it. And it takes a longer time, but the drying occurs more evenly, and it's less likely to develop off flavors. So in summary, the wet process is mainly affected by development of the seed under favorably moist conditions and no intended ferment. With the natural dry process, no development of the seed. Volatile organic acids develop as a result of fruit fermentation, which give it a very distinct flavor. Semi-pulp, not as much development of acidity. People really like it for espresso for that region. In Costa Rica, they call the yellow and gold honey because it tends to emphasize the sweetness rather than the acidity. And anaerobic, they've just got unique brown spice flavors.